What's up, weirdo?
What's up, speed bag?
I remembered it yesterday. I was trying to fall asleep and I'm like, what the fuck did he call me? And then I heard it in my head and fucking cackled. It sounds so shitty.
It does, but it's such a good name to call somebody.
Oh, it sounds like when you call somebody the town bicycle.
Right?
It's like a speed bag, just everybody's hitting it. We went to a estate sale the other day and I found like a beautiful like 50s or 40s like leather speed bag. And then when I dropped you off, you were like, later, speed bag. I was like, fuck.
Everybody punches it.
Gross. And you got the prettiest suitcase that was like brand new in the box from like, what is that, from like the 50s?
Yeah, you found me like this great little, almost, it's not a suitcase, it's like a briefcase.
Yeah, it's got like paper slots in it.
Perfect shape. And then I got it home and I was just like cleaning it. It was just dusty, like it wasn't dirty.
Mm-hmm.
And like inside was the receipt.
Really?
Yeah, and the keys and like all the paperwork that comes with a briefcase from the 1950s. It was crazy. Somebody bought that briefcase in the 1950s for $40.
Oh my God. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
We got it for $5.
Yeah.
Bow, bow, bow.
Good work, speed bag.
I know, I got my speed bag for $10. We fucking crushed it and contemplated our mortality. I get so sad at those things. I think it's going to be cool. And then I'm like, oh, I'm going to have one of these someday.
Well, I don't know if you remember, this is a while ago. I might have mentioned it on the podcast or on something that I was talking to people about. But like I was at TJ Maxx once and I bought, as you do at TJ Maxx, like, oh, look at this thing that's glass that or wood and it goes on my shelf and just sits there. But I was buying something and the woman at the counter is like, this is so cool. And I was like, it is. It's going to sit on my shelf and someone's going to sell it in an estate sale when I die. And she looked up and she laughed and she goes, true.
I know, I swear I was thinking that about something around here recently that I just never used. And I'm like, why the fuck don't I use that? Can I just use it? What am I waiting for?
You're just putting together a really great garage sale for after you're gone.
I know. This doesn't have anything to do with anything, but right before we got on here, okay, I did a shot, and then, well, actually, I did 2 shots. And after the first one, I'm like, fuck, I need a chaser for the second one. So I did that. Okay, you know that thing where you do something in the kitchen, like you run hot water in the kitchen, right? Then you turn the faucet off. And then the next time you get cold water out, it's still hot in the fucking neck of the faucet. So listen, I needed a chaser so fast, and I opened the cold water and it went in the cup and I chased it with fucking hot sink neck water. I almost threw up so bad. That was so fucking gross. And then I came on here and I'm like, I hope Tenney doesn't say anything gross like he always does, because I'm like legitimately gonna barf.
That's funny. Gross.
I know. I should have ran it for a second. I didn't think about it. I panicked. I was panicking.
There was some place, this is probably 20 years ago, but there was some place when I was doing a lecture or a convention and it was a bar. I think it was in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
But they were known for like, ask us about our hot shots.
Oh.
And they had like a little tabletop stove behind the bar. And you could get like a hot whiskey shot, like they'd heat it up, or a hot vodka shot. And I was like, that sounds like the grossest thing in the entire world.
Like that when I went to the Stanley, and everybody knows about pickleback shots where you take a shot of whiskey and you shoot pickle juice after it. But they had fucking picklebacks, or they had whiskey shots and you shoot it. What am I trying to say? You chase it with fucking gravy, brown gravy. It was on the menu. I posted it in our Instagram story when people are like, are you fucking joking?
Do you remember Woody's in Royal Oak?
Yes.
Yes. It was like a club bar.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of shirts unbuttoned down to belly buttons and too much speed stick and power stick and gross smells. But I knew a guy who worked there as like one of the head bartenders, and they were always trying to come up. This is probably 12 years ago when people really started trying to get creative with shots and drinks and stuff.
Mm.
And so he comes up to me and he's like, Tenney, he's like, taste this shot. He's like, it's vodka and I've infused it. And he puts down this shot in front of me, and they're literally like, it looks like an oil drop floating on the top of it. And I was like, what is this? And he's like, just try it. Tell me what you think. So I shoot this shot. It is the grossest thing that I've ever tasted in my whole life. I felt like I was going to throw up. It was warm. It was vodka. And he had tried to infuse it with turkey.
Wait, wait, turkey?
Yeah, so he like cooked a turkey and then like took the turkey out and filled up one of those some giant glass container with vodka and then put a full cooked turkey in it
Mm-mm,
and let it sit for like 2 days.
mm-mm.
And that's what that grease drop was on the top. It was just fat.
I'm gonna barf.
And I was like, no, this is not good.
Like even that would be funny. Like if you were doing Thanksgiving shots and you like if you made the shot somehow taste like gravy and then you put like a piece of fucking turkey on the edge of the shot, that would be funny.
Yeah.
Not turkey water vodka shot. Eh,
It was so gross.
fuck. No hot alcohol, anything.
Hot, greasy vodka. Oh, just what I wanted. Thank you so much.
And he didn't fucking tell you.
Oh, it was
He
so
gave you a
gross.
fucking meat shot. Eh, barf.
Maybe that's my name for this episode. You're speed bag and I'm meat shot.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm jotting it down.
That sounds like something you would call someone who's a town bicycle, but a guy.
That sounds like the nicknames of the people that are at Woody's.
Oh, you talking about meat shot over there?
Hey, dude, Speedbag and Meat Shot just got here.
Netflix's newest comedy, Speedbag and Meat Shot.
Oh my god. So you went on a trip on an airplane the last few days.
Yeah, I got a quick call to go and help friends do an investigation.
Pew, 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 pew.
That'll probably be shown on television.
Will be shown on television.
Yeah, I mean, I never know how the edits are going to go.
Did you see any ghosties?
So, weird things. This is one of those weird things in situations when you work in any kind of media.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not there the full time. I'm kind of brought in as a consultant, right? I had a super fucked up experience, but then, like, couldn't talk about it.
Why?
Like, I told everyone, but because we were doing something specifically and my experience is a separate whole side deal,
Mm-hmm.
like, it doesn't make sense to introduce it into what you're doing if you're doing something for a specific reason. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
I saw a full, completely in color, in person ghost.
You did?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. As a matter of fact, the whole reason that I even found out it was a ghost is because I talked to someone that I was with and I was like, why, if we're doing this thing, like, why are you letting that kid run around and like be in the background?
Mm-mm.
And they're like, there's no kid on here. There's no kid here. And I was like, no, there's a kid here. And I like walked the property for the entire time I was there trying to figure out who this little kid was that I saw.
What kind of outfit did they have on?
Like a light green long sleeve shirt, blue jeans, and then kind of gold to reddish tousled hair.
Weird.
Maybe like 8 years old.
Ah!
Fucking crazy. Crazy.
Crazy. All the ghosts that I've seen were adults. I've never seen a kid ghost.
Crazy. And kid ghosts always bum me out just because they're kid ghosts.
Yeah.
But then also I think to myself too, like we've talked before, like if you die and can come back, can you come back at any age?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Like, I was wondering if you can like shoot back, but that'd be
Yeah.
a weird place.
And this kid looked like he was having fun, so.
Mm-hmm. Weird.
But then I was supposed to leave today. My flight was like 10 in the morning, so I had to wake up at like 7. But I stayed up late, like saying goodbye to everyone. And then I couldn't go to sleep because then I was afraid I wouldn't wake up at 7 to get my plane. So I didn't sleep. And then I got to the airport, and of course my flight was delayed.
Yep.
Then I sat in the airport for an extra 2 hours, and then I didn't get home. So I had been awake. By the time I got home, I had been awake like 26 hours.
Do you want to reaccount the super bleak thing that the fucking airline lady told you?
Yeah, because I was talking to her about like all the flights that have been canceled lately, and I just figured it was pilots, like they're just running out of people to work at the airlines, like because of quarantine and stuff. And she said that it was because we've never lived in a time when every day somewhere in the United States, there's a fucked up weather pattern system that they can't either fly around or fly through. It's too fucking hot for the planes to get off the ground. Like there's no lift in the air because it's too hot. So the planes can't stay in the sky or something like that. Like it was bleak.
Yeah, she said like there's storms here, there's flooding here. They just can't land or fly through different places, and it like messes up the schedules every day.
Yep.
Which which is something like, and you know, me and you are on Twitter every fucking day and we see every angle of everything, but I haven't seen anybody talking about that shit.
That's one of those things that always worries me. It's like how much stuff we don't know. Like, even though we feel like we're inundated with information all the time because of Twitter and the internet, but then like there are these whole subsegments of industries that unless you're in it, you don't know that they're talking about it and worried about it.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, I didn't know that it can get like, I didn't know that the weather can be like so extreme that like you can't, like, it's hard for planes. I mean, I guess with snow, like in cold, you can't fly in the cold, right? So I guess it works the same way if it gets too hot.
Flying is scary anyway. Do not like.
Still the safest form of transportation.
Yeah.
The two safest forms of transportation, flying and school buses.
Well, I don't like either, so I'm just gonna keep road tripping away. Do you know this crazy thing that fucking happened this morning? So I was supposed to pick you up at the airport. First of all, I was supposed to pick you up at the airport at like 11:30. I had two different weird psychic thoughts last night while I was trying to fucking fall asleep. I got in bed at 1:30 in the morning. I laid there till fucking 4 trying to fall asleep, couldn't do it. Just like thought every thought in the fucking earth. Redesigned my fucking bathroom in my house, in my head, did all the things. Anyway, so I had two different psychic things. One was he's gonna text me in the morning and say go back to sleep. I literally saw it in my head. Secondly, the other thing that I saw, I don't want to tell you yet because if I'm right, it's going to be really funny. So I'm going to wait and see if it happens. But anyway.
Oh, come on.
No, it's like a stupid thing. It's just like a thing that I saw. I can't explain it. Anyway, you'll know in like 2 weeks. Anyway. So,
all right. Have you written it down though? So you have.
No, I'll remember. I know it's a very specific thing.
No, but I usually like, I tell people like if you have a good premonition or one that you want to see if it comes true. I've told people for, well, as long as there have been cell phones now, but I tell people like write it down and take a picture of it on your phone so that you have a date of when you thought it, when you wrote it, and the metadata says when you wrote it down.
Well, I would do that if it was serious, but this is like a non-serious thing. But anyway. So I kept fucking waking up all night. It was one of the, you know, when you can't fall asleep and then you wake up at like every hour after you finally fucking fall asleep.
You mean how I sleep since I was 8 years old?
Yes, literally your normal sleeping pattern. So I woke up at some point, rolled over, hit my phone screen. It said it was 8:38 and I had myself planned to wake up at 10:30 so I could just roll out of bed and fucking come and get you. So I was like, in my head, I was like, fuck, I only have 2 hours left to sleep. I feel like I didn't even sleep yet. It felt so shitty. I know I was awake. I know it wasn't a dream, right? Fell back asleep. Next time I fucking woke up and tapped my phone screen, it was 7:58. Not even kidding. And I wasn't sleep. I swear to you right now, I wasn't fucking sleeping. And I went backwards or I was a time slip. Like, I don't know what the fuck. That's never happened before.
Interesting.
I know it was before the fucking time. And I literally know I was so aware of both of the times that I woke up. I was like, that was really fucking weird. And then after that, after the 7:58 one, I woke up again at 9:40 and saw your fucking text that said, go back to sleep. So I'm like, well, this is all very weird because I knew he was going to do that. I fucking went back to sleep. And then this doesn't have anything to do with anything, but I thought you were going to call me with an alternate time to pick you up. And then you called me at like 2 p.m. and I answered and you go, I'm home. I'm eating. I'm going to bed. I was like, okay, cool. I don't know what's happening anyway, so that's good.
I was so frustrated because when I got to the airport in Detroit, I was so tired. By that time, I'd been awake like 25 hours. I was just exhausted, travel, all that stuff, you know? So I get to, there's a specific spot at DTW at the airport where ride shares and Ubers pick you up. So I call an Uber and I'm watching him and he's, 3 miles away and he's coming and he's coming. And then he's a quarter of a mile away. Then he's 900 feet away. And then he missed the turn into the fucking Uber, like where the Uber cars pull. And like at airports, like if you miss that turn, he's now 3 miles away again. And I was like, oh, come on. And so then he's 2 miles away, quarter mile away, 900 feet away, 3 miles away. And I was like, he did it again. He did it 3 times. So then like I looked at his actual like Uber profile. He had driven, I was his 30th trip.
That's it.
Yeah.
He's a noob.
He was a noob.
And he was probably high as fuck.
I just think he was new and hadn't been to the airport that much.
Okay, this is travel related. And going back to my fuck a plane, fuck everything. Guess what I decided over the last couple days that I'm gonna do?
Go blonde.
Ew, no, I've done it. No, we've lived through that disaster. That's never happening again. Anyway, I'm gonna drive to Alaska.
Oh, jeez.
I am.
Oh my goodness.
Listen, the drive from here to Anchorage is like 63 hours. That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's like there and back of my Vegas trip. So, well, it's actually less driving because my Vegas trip there and back was 5,000 miles. That's how much I drove on my last trip. The trip to Alaska is 3,800 miles, and then it would be 3,800 miles back. But I'm gonna do it. I think that's my trip for next summer. I'm gonna drive to Alaska. And I'm gonna see whales. I'm gonna see bears. I'm
Oh
gonna
my
see.
goodness gracious. And you're going to die?
No, I'm not gonna die.
I had two friends who were like driving world travelers beyond like what you would want to be.
What I am, bitch.
I mean, they drove to the southernmost tip of South America from Detroit.
Yeah, listen, okay, I will let you continue, but literally the other trip that I researched is driving to Panama.
Yeah, so they did trips like that. And I remember when they drove to Alaska and they were driving to Alaska and they didn't go during the summer. They went like fall, winter.
Yeah, that's their mistake. I'm not a dumbass.
Well, you know, they're travelers, so they wanted to do something crazy. And so they were driving, and at a certain point, they couldn't see the road anymore because of the snow.
Mm-mm.
So they just kept driving and heading in the direction that they wanted to go in. And as they were driving, two snowmobilers came up alongside of them and were screaming at them. And
you told me this before.
yeah, and so they stopped and rolled the windows down, and the snowmobilers were like, you have to turn around right now. You drove out onto a lake, and you're driving further out into the lake.
See, I would probably do that too. That's so fucked. They're so lucky they saw those people.
Yeah, for sure.
No, it said the best time to go is like May through July, and that's the best time to see whales and shit. And I want to go to Banff. I want to go to Jasper. I would go, I don't know, there's a couple different ways I could go, but I looked at everything. I'm like, I could do that. And it's like the western part of Canada looks way better than our shit. No offense, USA, but.
You know, you can go see whales on the east coast of the United States, right?
I know, that's my other trip. Listen, that's the other trip is I'm going to go to Newfoundland. That trip is way shorter, but
Yes.
Newfoundland and Prince Edward Island is like 1 day and 9 hours, I believe. You can see puffins. There's a puffin viewing area. Do you die?
You're a puffin.
I am a puffin. So yeah, I could see whales over there, but I've always wanted to go to Alaska. I'm obviously not going to fly there. It'll just be really fun. I'm going to do it.
Driving through Canada is, to me, has always seemed way murdery than driving through like the United States, because Canada is just endless forest.
I think it seems less murdery.
I think it's more. It always makes me think it's more like wrong turn than even the United States, because you're just driving for days through forests.
I know. That's what I want. It'll be fine. But yeah, so I figure it'd be like 2 weeks there, 1 week in Alaska, 2 weeks back.
Oh my God.
I was gone this time almost 4 weeks. It's going to be so good. Anyway, so that's the plan. But listen, it's funny that you said that because guess what I finally watched just for you?
You watched The Wrong Turn?
I did.
Did you like it?
So good.
It was so good.
Why doesn't everybody talk about that movie?
It's a great movie.
Oh my God, we're talking about the new Wrong Turn that came out in 2021. It's fucking so good.
It's so good.
It has the worst ratings on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes. But listen, like one of the people who fucking got it, Roger Ebert, he rated it so good because it was good.
Well, whoever's writing for Roger Ebert, he's
whatever.
Been dead, yes.
Yeah, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
that's like when you open IMDb or open one of those sites, that's one of the ones that I open because that's what, you know what I mean?
Yes.
A fairly trusted, it's not like.
And no spoilers, but now that you've seen it, that fucking end is gold.
Yes.
It's gold. Gold.
Yes, it already like ended and then started again and then ended again. And the first ending was already good.
Yeah.
And then it got fucked up again.
Yeah, I loved it.
Bro, I loved it. I really did. I could not wait. I finally turned it on the other day. I was texting Katie. I'm like, I'm watching Wrong Turn because Tenney won't fucking leave me alone. And then when it turns, I'm like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to watch it. I was stoked. It was so funny. It's like literally one of the things I was going to bring up to you on this episode, and then you just said Wrong Turn.
I'm so glad we finally agree on a movie.
I know.
It's for me.
It's for both of us. Everybody should watch it. I'm seriously stunned that it wasn't on lists of like, and the actors were good, and the practical effects were so fucking good.
The practical effects were great. Everybody in it acts so well. They act like the people they are acting like.
Yeah, and it starts like right off. You have to wait like 4 minutes, and then that thing happens. So that close-up shot was so fucking gross.
Yeah,
bro.
I'm glad you liked it.
I know, so good.
I feel like if we just keep peppering episodes of What's Up Weirdo weirdo with Love for Wrong Turn, we can like turn that Rotten Tomatoes score around.
Yeah, it's just gonna get so many good reviews now. It's so good. It's like a fun watch. It's like you don't have to like super figure it out. You don't have to think that much. It's just like
No,
laid out, but like not in a way, the movies we hate where they're like, oh, they like explain everything.
I feel like this is the last thing I'll say about it. I feel like it's the type of movie when I watched it, I was like, this is what M. Night Shyamalan tries to do.
Yeah.
He fails at it. This movie succeeded at it.
Yeah. His twists are always hot bullshit.
Yeah. And this one does twists where you're like, whoa, I did not see that coming at all.
I know. And then that was the problem is a bunch of the reviews were like, this doesn't follow all the wrong turns and it's not the same. I'm like, yeah, no, fuck, it's not the same. It's a different movie. Like, get over it. And I'm glad it wasn't the same. I don't even like those other movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was really excited to tell you that. The other thing that I watched that I like binged in the last week or week and a half is on Apple TV Plus, this show called Blackbird. It's a 6-episode like mini show, whatever the fuck you call it.
Yeah, I saw Stephen King tweet about it.
Yeah, it's so fucking good. It's a true story. It's based on a true story about this guy named Jimmy Keene. He went to jail for selling drugs and guns, I think, and he got like a nasty sentence. Like he was supposed to be taking a deal and it got fucked up and he got like 10 years. So the FBI or something came to him.
Here comes the story.
I know. I'm not going to tell it, but I think
You're not going to tell it even if you tell it.
I know, you're right. But the FBI, I think it was the FBI, came to him with a deal. They said he was in kind of like a low whatever prison that wasn't scary. So they said in this other prison that is scary, we have this guy who has like recanted his story about murdering a bunch of people a bunch of times. We can't get his story straight. We can't find any of the bodies. So they're like, we need you to go undercover at this other jail and get this guy to tell you where the fucking bodies are. And if you do, we'll let you out of jail completely. We'll commute your sentence. So it's like, and it's a true story. It's fucking crazy. The acting is so good. It's so good. Like everybody thinks Mindhunter is good. It's like right up the alley of Mindhunter. Ray Liotta's in it and he's so fucking good. Obviously one of his last roles, but the two main actors, like they're going to be all over award season. Like they both have to win. It's crazy. You're just like frozen the whole time.
You just made me consider while you were talking and you were talking about the guy recanting his story and stuff. And I was thinking about like, if you ever did something and the police come to you for your confession and you try and explain it to them and you're like, and then there's this thing with this guy and he's got this thing and then I did this other thing with that. Well, but it was the guy from before. And then like 2 days later, you're going to be like, wait, I forgot a whole part in the middle.
I know. I would be like, no, I fucked it up. Hang on.
You're going to be in court and they'll be like, she changed her story 8 times.
Look, that's just how I talk. Bro, it's all real. It's just in a blender. It's not in the right order. It's a really good show, Blackbird, on Apple TV Plus. So fucking good. And while you're at it, watch Servant on Apple TV Plus. It is an M. Night Shyamalan show, but he doesn't fuck it up. It's really good. And there's 1 season left of that to come soon, whenever.
I don't have Apple TV.
Well, you can get it. I'm sure it's free. Well, I mean, it's free for a minute.
Right.
Yeah. People who buy Apple products get like a year. I think I have a thing for a year of it free.
You know how, did you read that thing about how like Warner Brothers bought Discovery, so now there's going to be a new streaming service?
Well, they're smashing HBO Max and Discovery together and everybody's losing their goddamn mind.
Yes. And then did you see like who the next person is trying to get involved with streaming services?
Who?
Walmart.
Oh, why?
They're like want to buy something or become partners in something. I think it was this because of this Warner Brothers merger where Walmart was like, let's get a piece of that.
Gross.
So now like imagine if Walmart like, oh God, and then that's the streaming service.
That's so ghetto.
The worst.
I hate it. I hate the sound of it. They better think of a different word. They can't just call it Walmart streaming. They'd have to call it like
Warner Wall.
Yeah, something worse. I hate it. I hate everything about it.
Someone was talking about, because there's no NFL streaming service, I was talking about Walmart and they were like, what if Walmart bought the NFL for their streaming services?
Yeah, they could.
And then like 100 years from now, like you wouldn't watch football, you'd watch wall ball.
No, like change the word?
Yes.
Brutal.
Brutal.
Well, they already name all the stadiums all those stupid names when they used to have cute old schooly sounding names and now they're like fucking Citibank Field.
Or you just had like in Detroit, you just had Tiger Stadium.
Yeah, Tiger Stadium.
Like that's it. And now you've got like Comerica, GoBank, and Dash.com Arena.
We used to have Joe Louis Arena. Now we have Little Caesars Arena, Pizza Arena.
Little Caesars Pizzarina.
So fucking stupid. They should have named it Pizzarina, and that's what everybody voted on, and they said no, and they named it Little Caesars Arena. Or people wanted to name it Gordie Howe Arena, and they were like, no, I think we'll just name it after ourselves if that's cool.
What if they called it like Marinara Arena?
Yeah, that's literally. Yeah. Fucking, what are those things called? What are the sticks called?
I would go to a place called Garlic Bread Coliseum.
Yeah, Crazy Bread Arena. Yeah, like have some fun, you rich old fucks.
Did I hear Toady?
Yeah, he just flopped on the floor. Okay, so I put that, what is the word, that survey up on Twitter asking people what they thought we were going to talk about, and I said one of the options was amphibian brains. I read this thing the other day.
When I saw your choices, I was like, she's been reading stuff.
Yep, that girl been reading again. Oh, speed bag on our books.
Old speed bag in her books. I bet you she'll tell Meat Shot about it.
Speedbag got her one book out again. Okay, so I read that. Okay, I'm just going to read it how it is. Our brain stems. Okay, this is about hiccups. This is about why you get hiccups.
It's amazing. Are you reading this?
No, I'm just saying that part. Now I'm going to read it.
Okay.
Okay, our brain stems, inherited from amphibian ancestors, still spurt out odd signals, producing hiccups that are, according to whoever this guy is, essentially the same phenomenon as gill breathing. This is atavism, or evolutionary throwback activity at work. So the best cure for hiccups is to remind your brain that you're not a fish. Everybody go ahead and try that next time you get hiccups. Don't say watermelon, don't drink water, just be like, I'm not a fish, I'm not a fish, I'm not a fish.
just continually reminding yourself you're not a fish.
What if it works? What if it works? I love that.
That's very funny.
Amphibian brains.
Amphibian brains. Anurans.
I also have to correct something that I said on
do you know what I mean by anurans?
No.
Anurans are toads and frogs. That's their scientific name.
It is?
Yeah, anurans.
I thought you were saying like neurons. Weird.
No, anurans.
I've never heard that in my life.
Yeah, it's frogs and toads.
Toad's a neuron?
Yep.
Okay.
No, he's a canine.
He's a both.
He's a both.
Two things. Okay, I obviously had road trip brain and I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. And okay, so when I was on the salt flats, I was concerned about fucking sinking, right? Because I thought there was a Mr. Ballin story about being on salt flats, and if they get wet, you can sink. That's absolutely not true, so don't be scared of it. Don't listen to anything that I ever say. So the Mr. Ballin story, it occurred to me that the story was these people, this like man and woman, drove out in an area where there's low tide and high tide, so they got way the fuck out during low tide, and then the tide came back in and they sunk and they fucking died.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so in my head I had it confused and I was like, now people are going to be scared of salt flats, but what I said was absolutely wrong, so I'm correcting myself. And then two, the other thing that I thought of that I wanted to tell you was, we always complain about in like Royal Oak and in like Birmingham and pretty much Ann Arbor, everywhere, literally everywhere in Michigan, small cute towns and towns where you would want tourists and people to just go to your restaurants and your shops and all that shit, and it fucking deters people. Listen, I drove the entire fucking country. I drove all the way to Vegas and back. I stopped in more little cities that you could even know about. Every single cute little downtown area, bigger downtown area, every single one I stopped at, no parking meters, not a one in sight. Every downtown area parking was free. Every single one.
I know.
It made me so fucking mad. I was like, this is how it should be. Like, yeah, let me go in this antique store for a fucking half an hour without hassling me about a fucking meter.
Yep, absolutely.
It made me so mad. Everywhere, every state, literally. I like kept getting out of the car and getting ready for him. I'm like, oh, all this parking is free everywhere.
Not in Royal Oak.
Ugh, Michigan is so brutal.
Got to work for a week so you can park for half an hour.
No fuck. And then your meter runs out and you still get a ticket.
Yeah.
God, so fucking dumb. Like everywhere. Where the fuck was I? I was in downtown Omaha and there was all these shops and restaurants and there was like a park and there was a band playing and I'm like, oh, I get out, look for meters. Nope, no meters. Hate it here. No, I don't.
You just reminded me of something. I was watching a TV show in the hotel and they talked about Hannibal, Missouri.
They did.
Oh, I was flipping through the channels and they were showing the last episode of MASH.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody is giving their, like, talking about what they're going to do after the Korean War is over. Did you ever watch MASH?
I mean, I've seen like weird snippets when I was a kid on the TV, but I don't.
Anyway, Colonel Potter is the old man who's like the head of MASH.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking about what he did. And he said, somewhere in Hannibal, Missouri, Mrs. Potter is sitting on the front porch. And I was like, he lives in Hannibal, Missouri.
What?
Yeah.
That was something else I wanted to bring up because, like, everybody, when I put out our Patreon video, everybody loved Hannibal, Missouri, which they should because it was adorable. But I was thinking, like, maybe whenever we happen to do a Patreon meetup, maybe we should do it in Hannibal, Missouri because it's like central, kind of.
Yeah, kind of central.
And I'm sure, like, the hotels would probably be cheap because, like, what the fuck is it's fucking Missouri?
Yeah, if we go on one of the non-Samuel Clemens Mark Twain times.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'd be happy to fill up the hotel.
Yeah, that'd be cute. Maybe like a springtime thing, like April or something to think about.
I'll put it in my brain.
Yes. We have to think of a date for an October stash event too.
Yes.
I don't know what your schedule looks like. We have to coordinate things soon.
I'm doing an event on the 20th of October at Comics and More in Madison Heights.
You are?
Yes.
Isn't that when you're in somewhere?
No,
Is that October 10th?
probably. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not going.
No, because I was supposed to do an event there in March of 2020. It was going to be an event. It was right after our stash event, but then everything got locked down. So I had to cancel it. And now it's 2 years later, so I owe them a lecture.
Yeah.
So comic book store lecture.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll come to that one. I feel like we have other shit. I have to tell you this other. I told Katie this, and she was like, "That's like the saddest thing I ever fucking heard." Another thing that I read online, but now it'll just stay with me forever. So, okay, you know how like fresh cut grass smell is like one of humans' favorite fucking smells. It's like the best.
Yes.
So it says that the smell of fresh cut grass comes from a distress signal that the plants emit when they're damaged. The grasses release smelly, volatile molecules meant to indicate that something is harming them.
Do you never listen to my lectures?
You say that?
I talk about when you cut the lawn, when I talk about plant intelligence, I talk about the fact that plants know they're being harmed by us mowing our lawns. So they release toxic signals into the air because they actually think that they're being eaten by animals. They're being grazed. And so they grow more toxic so that animals won't eat them so they can continue to grow. So like if you're walking your dog, you will see that dogs will tend to sniff like the long grass that's overgrown by a fence line and not eat the cut grass on someone's front lawn. And it's because the cut grass on the front lawn is giving off that chemical tracer. But the long grass that doesn't get cut or weed whipped, that's by the fence, that's the stuff they actually want to chew because it's full of all the nutrients and stuff because the plant hasn't screamed, I'm being eaten or cut.
Yeah, the second part said, you can smell rain coming for the same reason. Plants emit a volatile organic compound as they whine about the storm coming.
Yes.
That's so fucking cute.
But now you're just going to think about every time you mow your lawn, all the millions of blades of grass screaming.
I literally am. I know. It's so sad. I didn't know.
Plant intelligence.
I know. Everything's so smart.
Yeah. But this actually just came up on Twitter right after your post.
What?
Because my friend Michael Hughes was talking about how people always tell him like, you're eating the plants and the plants are intelligent because he's whatever, that argument.
I know.
And so I just now on Twitter related, like long story short, but I just related on Twitter, like the time I talked to my friend who was a botanist and he said, no, you don't understand. Like they're not mad. Like certain plants aren't mad, like strawberries and apples and bananas and most flowering flowers. They're not mad that you're eating them. They evolved to take advantage of animals who have locomotion because plants can't move by themselves. So they grew seeds inside of plants so that we would eat them so that they could disperse their seeds over a wider spread of area.
Yeah, you told me that before.
Yeah, so we're under the plant's control. We're doing exactly what they want us to do.
Plant control.
Plant control.
I thought of something else weird. When you know how I stopped by Stoll Church, or Stoll Cemetery on my road trip.
Yes. Oh, I just thought of something. I'll bring it up when you're done.
Okay. It's supposed to be like a portal to hell in Stoll. Whatever. So listen, like I don't know if it was like a week or two or 2 weeks, 1 week. I don't remember, but like shortly after I was there, the fucking church lit on fire.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it had a bad fire. Isn't that crazy?
That is pretty crazy. And you're talking about a church. And the thing I was going to talk about was I was watching in the hotel room a like local cable access church service on the TV, and the guy was answering questions, and one of the questions was like, "Dear minister, how many souls did God make when he created the earth?" And the minister's answer, this is like a television show being broadcast right now, and the minister was like, "Well, scientifically, there are about 7 billion people on the planet right now, and that's more people than have ever existed in history. So that number has got to be at least 7 billion souls." And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, so he had some spares? Like, where were they hanging out?
Right. So they were just hanging out waiting for bodies.
Yeah.
And he's like, there's 7 billion people on the planet. That's more than there's ever been on the planet, which is true. But there have been 100 billion deaths on the planet.
Right. So is he saying they believe in reincarnation even though they don't believe in reincarnation?
Yeah, I couldn't understand what his logic was to it. And then I remembered I was watching like a Southern cable access church show. So his scientific thinking probably wasn't the greatest.
I know, it's just that thing like where when they, well, first of all, when you started telling the story, I thought his angle was going to be, well, there's only this many souls, so that means half the people on Earth don't have souls, and that was going to be like, yes.
Well, one of the questions someone asked where it was, I couldn't believe that he answered. Well, I couldn't believe he read the question, but the question was like, why aren't there dinosaurs and cavemen in the Bible?
Oh Lord! And you were like, well, let's get Jessica up on stage.
I did laugh when the question read that. But his answer to that was because there have never been cavemen.
What?
That God created humans in human form. There's no such thing as like Neanderthals and cavemen and stuff like that. That's all a lie.
I thought, like, okay, first, like, two, when he asked that, and then he said he just started answering, but he doesn't really know what he's talking about. I feel like that's like when they do, like, Miss USA or Miss Universe, and then they ask him a question, and the girl just opens her mouth, starts fucking talking. It's like, I don't really even know if I'm answering the fucking question, but...
That is exactly what this guy seemed like he was doing.
Yeah.
And it felt like the way he said it, too, is he felt like he was trying to mean it as, like, a burn. He was like, well, there's no such thing as cavemen. God created humans as humans. So, of course, they're not in the Bible. There's no cavemen. And when it comes to dinosaurs, it says in the Bible there was a behemoth, and that's a dinosaur. Next question. I was like, that's not a great answer.
That's as far as my education has taught me, and we're moving along. Goofballs.
Then at the very end, don't forget to send $5 because they have a new pamphlet coming out called How to Survive What Will Happen to You After the Rapture. You know what the rapture is, right?
I don't know. Go ahead and tell me.
It's just so there's people who believe that when the world is going to end when Jesus comes back, and there's the great battle of Armageddon, tale of Revelation, the end of the Bible, all of the believers in God will be raptured to heaven so they don't have to live through it. So like there's going to be a day where we wake up and the Christians believe they will all be gone.
Cool.
Like they'll just be taken directly to heaven, and then we have to live through the apocalypse.
That sounds amazing. Sorry, not sorry. The Rapture. It's for me. 2 thumbs up on the Rapture.
But there have been like a bunch of bad movies made by like Christian filmmakers about the rapture.
So they just lift up.
Where they all lift up and they float into the sky. But then also they show you like, do you know how bad it's going to be? Because some of those Christians are airline pilots and some of them are bus drivers and they're just going to disappear. And then it just like shows planes dropping out of the sky and cars crashing into each other. And
oh my God. It's like Sharknado.
Yeah, I think Nicolas Cage made a movie like that.
About the Rapture?
Yeah, I think he made a Rapture movie.
Find it. It sounds like a Kirk Cameron movie.
I thought so too, but I think it was, you know how he does those direct DVD videos? Like a lot of stars do those, like you see him at Dollar Tree and you're like, when did Robert De Niro make a psychic film? It's one of those where you're like, why didn't Nicolas Cage made a Rapture Christian movie? What is that?
Bodies, Bodies, Bodies comes out this week.
What is it?
It's called Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
I have no idea what that is.
A horror movie, and Pete Davidson's in it.
I have no idea what that is. I've never heard anything about it.
The trailer looks really good. It just looks like a slasher. It's
Oh, I do know what you're talking about. Does it like take place at a party or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah, it comes out this Friday, but I think you can go like Thursday night.
You can go Thursday night.
I knew you were gonna say that. I'm like, I think I'm gonna have to see the Pete Davidson horror movie solo.
I don't know. Maybe I'll go with you.
I know, it'll be good. It's getting really good ratings.
All right, whatever. Wrong Turn got bad ratings.
I know, fuck that. And Fuckboy Island. I got
Jesus.
I got, like, definitely I had people text me this week going like, oh my god, this is the best show I've ever seen. And I'm like, wait till you see season 2, and then they're like, oh my god, so good.
I still haven't watched it.
You would love it.
I will give it a chance at some point.
You should. It's stupid and enjoyable.
All right, I'm running out of steam again.
I know, I think I'm sleepy.
My exhaustion sleep wasn't great that I had today.
I know, my sleep was terrible. And then I did so many things around the house yesterday, and then I slept so shitty last night that today I did absolutely fucking nothing.
I have to go Home Depot this week.
What for?
I have to get some paint.
For what now?
I have to finish my bathroom.
I thought it was done.
No, I'm doing the ceiling now.
You're doing the ceiling pink too, or white?
No, white.
Okay, good. I was gonna say let's
yeah, that's a little too much.
Pink, I know. Okay, fine.
So I need you to take me to Home Depot.
Fine.
I'll buy you some nails or something.
Something to put up my speed bag with.
Yep.
Can you? I'll only take you to Home Depot if you go see Bodies with me.
That's a deal.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Get the fuck out of here.
Do our advertiser.
Original sock dogs. No, sock dogs. No original. Sockdogs.com. AdamberryMerch.com. Old Town thing. Also, our top tier Patreons, I got them all signed up on Marco Polo app so we can send them, and I've been doing that all week too, so we can send them personalized messages on the rego, like none of the other pates can see their own messages. It's just like me shooting them a video, and then me and you will do videos probably on the way to Paracon and just say hi to people. And it's way better because I'll still do the long form videos on our Patreon, but like the cute short ones to people are like nice, and they can tell me shit too. They can answer.
Is that an application that I can get on my phone?
Yeah, you can get Marco Polo. I swear one of the Patreons today, they're like, I don't expect to see Tenney on here because he's busy. So they'd be real surprised if you got on there.
Maybe I'll download that new application.
Yeah, it'd be cute. Like, I was messaging them the other day when I was fucking defrosting my freezer. I'm like, hey guys, look what I'm doing.
Do you create like a user profile or anything for Marco Polo, or is it just use your regular information?
No, it's not like a page. You just like shoot. It's hard to explain. It's kind of like Snapchat, but you probably never had Snapchat, so that doesn't make sense to you.
Can I set it up so that I register as hot shot?
Meat shot.
Meat shot.
I'm like, why do you want to call yourself hot shot?
I couldn't even remember. I'm so tired. I couldn't even remember what my name was.
You can be anything you want, okay, Tenney? Oh my god.
Speed shot and meat bag.
No, I don't want to be meat bag. I don't want to be meat bag.
What's up, meat bag?
You can call me that. Oh, just call me that around groups of people at Paracon. People go, what the fuck does that mean?
Like we go to the bar together and I just call you from across the bar. Hey, meat bag.
Hey, yo, meat bag. Get over here. Where the fuck is it? I got Toad a new toy. Remember how loud those pigs were? I got Toad a new toy, and I think it's the loudest one I've ever fucking gotten. And it's
okay, well then I'm done because I don't want to hear it.
Bro, it's so fucking loud. I can't see it right now, but I'm sure it'll make an appearance on a future episode. Yeah, I don't know where it is.
All right, is that it?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, bye.